G'day YouTube, how the heck we doing? It is Foul Play here, back for the fourth match of this modern league. Not going super crash hot at the minute. We lost the die roll versus Alex here, but I'm going to go ahead and keep this 6-card hand into him. Or her, it is a unisex name. Alright, so we're versing Merfolk. We can actually do quite well here. I'm not sure what exactly Merfolk decks are main decking currently. In any case, we have to be a little bit greedy with our land base here. In case of Spreading Seas, Tide Shapers, taking away our mana sources, we want to be able to cast everything we can. Alright, so Master from our opponent and an attack with Tide Shaper. This is kind of nice. It's a little bit slower. This is kind of what we need. Alright, Windswept Heath makes me change my mind a little bit. I want to be conserving my life total now, I believe. And I think we just light pause and go super greedy. So I don't think the Merfolk decks run Counterspell specifically, but this plays around Force Negation as an effect. I'm not super expecting Dismember or Brazen Borrower. Maybe I should be playing around them. Getting a second Temple Garden, shocking, and then going like bam bam. As is, opponent with Master of the Pearl Trident attacks in. Alright, well, I think we can take the damage, maybe wait one more turn. Next turn, we're going to be resolving Daybreak Coroner anyway, which is going to be kind of nice for us. We find Ethereal Armor. We want to leave this one in hand, though. Just be conservative of our life total at the minute. So Audacity on our Light Pause, getting Ethereal Armor, and then we can Daybreak Coroner. This is only bad against Force of Negation specifically at this point. Alright, that one actually resolves, so that puts us in a really solid spot. Now we have a few choices of what to get. I think it's just Spirit Mantle. Really like shore up our creature, make it impossible to block, and attack in for a lot of damage. Alright, so that puts our opponent to 8. We're all the way back up to 19. I think we're in a pretty strong spot here, just based off of how high we've got our life total. They don't have Island Walk yet. Going to take at least 2 mana this turn to get to Island Walk. They've only just made their 3rd land drop. Alright, our opponent concedes. Alright, so here we can see a Merfolk deck that's 5-1 recently in a special modern event, whatever it is. RCQ. Alright. This one's actually running a couple of Mistcallers in the main deck. That's pretty spicy. But mostly you can see interaction of Spheloon, of Vidalian Hexcatcher, Dismember. Of course, the Tide Shaper interacts with our land. There's potential for Chalice of the Void, Spreading Seas, Force of Negation, more removal as well. Reminder as well, guys, if you do enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. So cards I like here are Solitude because it removes their creatures. It gets around Force of Negation as well, which is nice. And it can be done as a combat trick. Force of Vigor because it interacts with their Spreading Seas, with their Aether Vials, and also with their Chalice of the Voids. We're going to be taking out 2 Griffin, 2 Spider Umbra, and 1 Spirit Mantle. Okay, so we see there's a 7 here. Our opponent has kept their hand. Now, we've got a good creature, piece of interaction. They're more likely to have Dismember games 2 and 3 post board. We can rely on a Dryad Arbor. I don't think that's super great. I think we can do better than this hand. This does not fit that build. And this will have to do. So we're a little bit clumped up with a few overlapping auras and a few too many creatures. Not really a huge amount of mana. There's a lot of places where this can go wrong for us. I think we want to see like 1 to 2 more lands and then all enchantments. Alright, Force of Vigor is a reasonable start. Alright, so our opponent's just played Master of the Pearl Trident. They're going to be attacking with this Tide Shaper now. And we're going to take that damage. Not much to do there. Solitude off the top. That's a nice find. This is an interesting position because we can't really attack. I don't think we want to offer the trade. I don't think we want to Solitude this master, although maybe we do. Maybe we bluff it and then just Solitude if things go wrong. It's just a shame if they have Sfealoon though. Alright, they're going to let that damage through, so I'm happy about that. Alright, well there is that Sfealoon. So this one has Indestructible. Other Merfolks have Ward 1, so we don't have to play around Ward 1. We can just take this damage here. We don't have to do anything special. Probably during our opponent's beginning of the next combat step, we'll then look to Solitude the Sfealoon. Find Hyena Umbra off the top. That's kind of interesting. We can't attack currently with Sfealoon on the board either. I think we just Hyena Umbra and try to race. Unfortunately, I want to see a mana source. I also want to see this, but I think we can't afford the time at the minute. So just go like that. Maybe they'll waste next turn with like Spreading Season and Aether Vial, and we can gain some tempo back. Fiery Islet, another Lord. Oh my goodness, this is terrifying. Mutavault is activated. Alright, so we can kill the Mutavault, and given it's 4 damage, I think we kind of want to. We could also destroy our Audacity, but I don't think that's the line. Alright, so that worked. So it's an artifact creature, but that doesn't make it an artifact, so that just fizzles. Alright. Well, I'm punished for not quite knowing the text there. I assumed that that would work. Alright, Razorverge Thicket is a concede. So I don't think there's a huge amount we want to change when we're on the play here. Maybe we could be slightly less heavy on Force of Vigor and bring back in an enchantment instead. I think that's reasonable. Probably like 1 to 2 is fine. Maybe even 0 is fine. Maybe I should just have Griff Spoon and Spider Umbra in this slot. I've changed my mind and boarded out these. Boarded in the Griff Spoon over the Spider Umbra. I think the flying is probably more important than the Totem Armor, really. Like, it's close, but there might be games where we have like Griff Spoon plus Audacity or Rancor. We don't have a First Strike aura, and in that case, I think Griff Spoon is better than Spider Umbra. Spider Umbra is an extra force pitch, but we've got plenty of pitch targets here with these 14 or even 15 cards, including the Dried Arbor. Alright, well this hand obviously is not good. We'll mulligan that. This hand seems pretty reasonable. I mean, we've got a couple of interactive pieces. We're pretty aura light. I think if we draw well, this can win it for us. Opponent's keeping 7. I don't want to go down too many cards. I think I'll just keep this. Probably ditch a land source. It means Daybreak Coronet's going to take a little bit longer, but that's fine. Alright, Aether from our opponent on turn 1, and that's okay by me. Razorverge Thicket off the top. Alright, well, we've seen exactly how many land sources we want to see for the match. So I think giving them Aether Vial on 1 isn't that bad because it just puts a Tide Shaper into play. We might want to like try and gamble and get a Spreading Seas on top of this Aether Vial active. Aha, there he is. He goes for the Spreading Seas. Alright, that's a good read from us. Alright, so we'll exile these 2 cards, getting rid of the Glade Cover Scout. We might actually want to cycle this Horizon Canopy here for mana efficiency purposes. That could be wrong. Alright, let's just continue. Any aura, please, deck. Wow, well, if that's not middle finger, I don't know what is. Alright, well, let's go ahead and attack. Alright, so another Aether Vial from our opponent. They've got 2 mana up as well. And it looks like they're just going to pass the turn to us. I don't think the deck runs Counterspell. It could just be Instant Speed Vidalian Hexcatcher, in which case we probably want as many mana sources as possible. Griff Spoon off the top. Don't mind if I do. I'll definitely throw that down. Cool. All right, so now we get a nice easy attack. And then we just have to try and play around Vidalian Hexcatcher. Guess we can Solitude, but we kind of want to resolve the Daybreak Coronet, so that's not super appealing to me. Playing up the Scout is also not super appealing to me. I think we just hold it in case we hit our other force, and there's like interaction with Spreading Seas or the Vial that we want to go for. We of course now know that the Mutavault line does not work, so that's kind of annoying. So what we actually want to have our opponent do is tap their mana now, so we have information. That's a pretty big annoying one. Alright, so we'll take the damage. I think we likely just Solitude these Phaelin away. Let's see what auras we find or don't find. Getting there for some damage. It's pretty ridiculous at the moment with our draws and everything. Let's just play this guy out. Maybe we can get a trade with the Vidalian Hexcatcher. Alright, so beginning of combat, you guys know the drill. Let's go ahead and pitch this one. Alright, so targeting out the Spheloon, our opponent will be going back up to 18. Hopefully they don't have another Spheloon. So far they've been pretty slow and patient with deploying their hand. This Hexcatcher is also a big issue. What are we doing? Hexcatcher in response. Alright, so they're getting a bit of extra life gain here. That's fair, I respect that. A lot of extra life gain apparently. Alright, and there's no real blocks to be had for us here. We'd play around like future Island Walk maybe. I think we just want... maybe we Dryad Arbor, I don't know. I don't love blocking. I think I want to get slightly greedier with how far behind we are. Our opponent did play out a second Mutavault there. Okay, so naturally we're still drawing like no relevant cards, right? Our only card we've drawn which has been of relevance has been Griffspoon. This is absolutely ridiculous, man. Still, at least we got our land drops, right? I mean, that is going to be the risky thing with keeping a hand like what we did. I don't know, I just thought it was good enough, man. Like, we've had 5 draw steps plus a Horizon Canopy. We've drawn 6 cards and we've hit 1 aura and 6 cards. It's like pretty frustrating. All right, so block out the majority of the damage. Yeah, if that Force of Vigor was like a Spirit Mantle or a Griffspoon, I mean, maybe we're a little bit better, but... Alright, GG to our opponent, because, yeah, I feel pretty bad about how that one, like, played out, but we drew 1 relevant card in, like, 8 draws, and our opponent's got their interactive pieces here. We didn't have the early turn tempo, which is pretty important, and we also didn't have, like, light pause to try and combo off and really apply, like, a high-pressure clock. But, yeah. Alright, so 1 of 3 going into the final match. Let me know what you thought of the rough game in the comment section below. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you then.